Welcome back to our first Supercoach episode of the year. We're back.
Yep, we're back.
A lot of people thought we weren't going to be back after
I didn't think so either.
After your year.
Yeah, not fun.
Yeah. But
I'm going to win. I'm going to buy myself a jersey.
Nice. You need one.
Yeah, great jersey. Might get a Tigers one or something.
Tigers, yeah. So, we're straight into it. So this episode, what we're going to do, first episode of the year, obviously.
Won't be long. It won't be.
It might be long. We'll see. We might ramble on a bit. I might ramble on, but I don't have any stats or anything prepared for this week.
Next week we're on.
What I thought we'd do is just kind of give you our initial thoughts. It's hard without team list. You don't want to waste all your energy putting your stats into someone and then they don't even get named and you're like, that was a fucking waste 12. Of half an hour.
Yep. With you.
So we'll wait next week. Once team lists drop, we'll be all over the stats and the in-depth analysis kind of side of things. Yep. But I just wanted to give kind of our initial thoughts, go through kind of all the options that we're thinking for each position and just kind of give you a broad list of names. Some names you may not have heard of, may not be spoken about in the Supercoach community as much as others. But we'll get into all of that, go through all the teams, what our teams look like. Now, we do have a league. Spots are filling up very, very quickly. Insanely quickly. It's actually already full. So that's how quickly it has
I don't think the reigning champs joined, so I gave a early access.
Should we do another one?
Let it.
Should we have another league?
You can release this quick. Yeah, we should.
Yeah?
We will see.
We probably should, eh?
Yeah, let's view the league. Is there any previous fucking players?
Any returning players?
Yeah, pretty much. There's a lot.
There's a few.
Pain in the ass. That's good.
Anyway, we'll make another league, eh?
Latrell's Lions is wild. That is a great... I don't want to read the one above it because that might get us cancelled, but Latrell's Lions is wild.
Yeah. So we'll make another league.
Yep. Roughings Cup. Total points, I guess, then we'd have to do?
We can just do another head-to-head comp like that. We can both join, or we just do an overall one.
How would the winner get? You'd have to do overall points?
Because if we did an unlimited one, it would be overall points.
Yeah.
Or we do a head-to-head comp.
And then how would the head-to-head work if there was two head-to-heads?
I don't know. Do we just do two jerseys? No, fuck that.
Yeah, that's $180 too.
What we might do is we do an unlimited league.
Yeah.
And then overall points is the winner of the jerseys. That way it's not capped at 20.
We'll keep this league as like our league sort of thing. Yeah, but then we'll make another one.
They're our rusted on viewers.
Yeah, they're our OGs.
We'll
offer you something, maybe a kiss if you win or something.
Yeah.
A couple of kisses.
Yeah.
Something.
So we'll do that, eh?
Because I've had a lot of people message me going, fuck, I missed out. I'm like, sorry, dude.
There we go.
So we'll make it and we'll put the league code up in the top left, top right, of where the fuck he puts it.
And then winner will get a jersey.
Jersey of your choice within reason. We're not getting a fucking Man United 09 kit.
No, footy jersey.
Footy jersey. Just standard, nothing. We don't want a fucking heritage jersey that there's only been 3 copies of. And we did that last year because,
yeah, we're not doing it again.
Georgia, she doesn't want to win again.
No.
Marco's happy about that.
Left you on red.
Yeah, left me on red. Doesn't bother me, mate. Send a league code. She doesn't reply. Good on her. Sort of glad. She's probably win it again. Shout out, Georgia. I'm sorry if you watch this. No, I really like you. You're a great person.
She's watching this. Like, I wanted to join.
Well, overall league, darling. We'll get you in. You and hubby, I think it is, Paul.
Yeah.
Fiance.
Yeah. Yep. All right, let's get stuck into it, eh? So, obviously, the big change this year. I don't know if you're aware.
Yeah, I'm aware of this.
There's a flex position.
Got to change mine. Let's put it that way. Latrell.
So, basically, you put anyone you want in it, and you're still going to get scores for 17 players, but the flex position comes into play and replaces whoever scored the lowest. So, if you have someone has a HIA or someone just has a shit game. Then they come in and sub
pretty much
in
an extra
for
player.
that. It's an extra player.
Essentially.
So that's going to be really handy. There's a lot of different ways that people are going about it. So we'll touch on that in a moment.
Yep.
Let's touch on it now.
I reckon we should start with
because that is a big thing that is basically defining how your team is set up, right? Go and have 3 gun fullbacks. There's a lot of people putting an extra gun fullback in that flex position. Obviously, your fullbacks are your highest scoring positions statistically over the years.
Yep.
So it does make sense to fill it up with a fullback. The other option is to fill it up with another cheapie. And a fullback cheapie in particular, you only got 2 spots in the fullback position. So someone like a Iongi from Parramatta is very popular in that flex position. Obviously, if you do that, frees up a lot of money where you can get, 2 gun halfbacks, a couple of gun hookers,
Depends how you want to build
and
your team,
really
doesn't
manage
it?
your team.
Yeah.
Or you fill it up, put 3 gun fullbacks in, gun fullback in your flex position, and just really try and get as many points as possible.
Yeah.
Sacrifice that little bit of team, sacrifice other areas of your team for that. But it just depends on what I've got my team set up at the moment. I've got the 3 gun fullback options, but I've been tossing and turning which way to go. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to team lists, whether there's enough cheapies, the cheapies that I have in my side at the moment, whether they get named, that allows obviously that money to go elsewhere.
Yeah.
So
it depends how you want to build it, doesn't it?
That's it. How are you thinking about going about it?
I'm going the fullback option, but with I had Latrell in there, but with Latrell getting hurt, I might look towards like a back rower because that's where the points are too.
Yeah.
It's sort of hard to get in the gun backs now. Like
I would recommend going against a second rower just because you've got like 6 spots in the second row positions.
Already.
So it's a little bit of a waste. I think you want to use it for your fullbacks or your 5'8" and your halfbacks because you've only got 2 spots there anyway. So you're really utilising that 3rd spot rather than using a 7th spot.
If your lowest scorer gets 32 and old mate gets 36, like you're getting
an extra 3 points.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. So it just replaces. It's not added
Whatever
onto it.
The shittest one is,
that comes out. And if your shittest player is your flex, then that doesn't get added. It's just like your 17 stays the same.
Yep. All right. That makes it easier for the people.
Yeah. So
we're not going to scream and call this week because I don't think Will wants to give up too much of his team yet.
Well, it's not that. I just don't want my battery to die.
Well, and he doesn't want Marco to copy his team. That's what you're saying in the green room. The green room's actually this room, but just
Same
our
room.
imaginary colour. So
Yeah. We actually like spray paint it
like
green for the green room, and then we just paint it.
Yeah,
So,
we just have it over the top.
Very busy.
Bit of two-tone.
Let's go through the hookers first.
Stacey. Yep. Sorry.
No, Stephanie.
Bubbles.
What?
Bubbles.
So the fullbacks, again, a lot of different tactics here. A lot of teams going with the 2 weaker, I guess, cheapy hookers, which, nothing wrong with a cheap hooker.
Hey, it's a good time.
Some are going for the more premium hooking options, and having like 1 gun and 1 cheap hooker.
Oh God. Yep.
So for me, Sandon Smith, he's a kind of a no-brainer for me because he's going to be starting halfback. He's probably going to be goal kicking.
What about Chatty? Does Chatty not get a run, do you think? The experience? Does Sandon come off as your 14? Does Connor start at 9? Does
Connor starts at 9.
There's a lot of questions. Does Smith go to 13?
I don't think he goes
10, 8?
No. Well, Smith's out for the first bit of the season anyway. Brandon Smith. Sandon Smith, he definitely plays, whether he plays 5'8" or halfback.
Yep.
To start the year. And then there's Chad Townsend's probably going to start with him.
You'd assume so. How long's little fella out? What's his name? He tries
Walker.
to go. Yeah.
I think he's gone for probably the most part of half the season.
Oh, okay. He's out for
I think, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So he's starting. Okay.
So,
yep. I'll take it back. He's starting.
And I think he goal kicks. Chad Townsend, he can kick a little bit, but I don't think
He was our goal kicker.
Yeah.
Pre-Nico.
Yeah.
So
I think it's down to those 2. If he's kicking, then I'm all over him.
Yep.
Sandon Smith. But
cheap hookers.
yeah, all over him. But I don't know.
It's a
We'll
great
see.
option.
But I think even without the goal kicking, I still think he's a great option. 237K.
Yeah.
Starting halfback for the Roosters, who, yes, they've lost a lot of players, but they're still a decent enough
It's
side.
the Roosters.
You've still got, Tedesco. You've still got
Yeah.
Connor Watson. There's enough gun talent there. So,
Yeah.
Angus Crichton, especially if Smith is playing inside of Crichton, I think that could be a really good combination,
Yep.
getting quite a few try assists there. He seems to be someone that, runs the ball a fair bit as well. As you said, job security maybe once Walker comes back, but that's still a long way away. He would have already made his money by then. So
He'd be a sell and flip.
Yeah, I think that's he's almost a must-have for me. Yes, there's question marks, but at his price,
Do you want to go through your
risks.
must-haves for this week in every position, like the one play in every position?
Yeah, we'll do that.
So don't give too much away.
Yeah. And then the other options for your hooker, if you want to go a gun option, you've got your Connor Watson, who's a nice option. I think he's starting hooker now that Brandon Smith is gone for, again, a fair while of the
Bigger
season.
workload, you'd assume too.
Yeah. He did start, I think, 2 games at hooker last year, and he got around 50, 55 points. So he's not a bad option. He's probably not... I'd probably rather him at lock, to be honest. I think he offers more at lock in terms of a Supercoach game. But, he's going to be that running threat. And also with all the outs that the Roosters have, is he going to step up and he's going to take more control at hooker and kind of have a bit more of a running game than he did before?
Yeah.
He already had that running game, but it might have even more now so with all the losses that they've had.
Yeah.
So he's an interesting one. I'm looking at him, but at the price, 583, I think there's still value there for him, but it's still pretty expensive. And as I said before, going the 3 gun fullbacks, it kind of limits you to, you've got to make sacrifices elsewhere. And I'm making them a hooker. Reid Marnie is an option, but he's just very, very inconsistent.
Super inconsistent. He wants to rip someone's head off every week. He gets sent to the bin often.
Yeah. So I personally wouldn't go there just because I've had him in the past and it's just a pain. Similar to Api Coruscant, actually. He's 612K. He's super inconsistent. He does have a little bit more upside than Marnie, I think. And I think with May coming in, I think May is going to be huge for him, playing off that quick play of the balls, having that little bit of go forward with their forwards that they've been lacking. They've had no forwards, really.
Yeah.
Like, it's been Coruscant kind of doing everything by himself. Now he's actually got a little bit of a platform with May there. Could be good for him, but again, it is inconsistent. 612K, a little bit expensive. Damien Cook and Little I wouldn't touch, to be honest, just because they're going to cannibalise each other. I like that word.
God damn.
But they're fighting for the same position. They're probably going to both play. One's going to be off the bench. Neither of them are probably going to play 80.
Yep.
And they're both priced at 640, 680K, 660, sorry. So it's, just stay away from them. I could not recommend them at all. Harry Grant, I still think he's the best option at hooker. If you want a gun hooker, I reckon just go with Grant, to be honest. For me, personally, if I'm not going with the 2 cheapy options, I'm getting Grant. I don't think there's anyone else.
If you're loading up, you're going Grant.
You might as well just go for the best. He's going to be the best at the end of the season. And he's going to be, he's going to outscore the other hookers by probably 10 points.
Yeah.
He's going to play 80 every week. He's just, he's going to play Origin, but there's still a long way to go. There's 13 weeks to get through before Origin. Melbourne have the bye round 2, but I don't know. I'm not worrying about the buys, to be honest, at this stage. I think, yes, it's early on and you probably don't have the depth, but it's 1 week. It's one player. You can cop whatever it is for that. So I wouldn't take buys into account too much unless you've got like 6 Melbourne players. But,
then sorry.
I would be picking Grant as the number 1 by a long way. Everyone else, not really, to be honest. Blake Brayley potentially is a bit of an option with Fanua Blake joining. I think he's going to get a bit more attacking stats, giving that short ball at Fanua Blake. Obviously, we know his try-scoring ability, so
Apparently,
we could see a little uptick in Brayley's points.
yeah, he's just solid.
Yeah.
50-ish
Yeah.
a week.
That's it.
Gets you a job every week.
He's not going to let you down, but he's not going to win you around either.
Yep.
So,
Not many hookers do, I guess.
He's 519k, so he's 180,000 cheaper than Harry Grant. So there is obviously a bit of money that you can save there. Yeah, it just depends. Connor Watson's the same price. I'd probably rather Connor Watson though, to be fair. Marshall King, he's an option, I guess. I want to stick away from Dolphins players, to be honest. I don't think they're going to have a great season.
Yeah.
Losing Wayne Bennett, I think, is huge. Jerry Marshall King, he always seems to kind of pick up an injury of some sort anyway, which kind of hurts. I'd stick away. But there is value there if he can kind of get on a roll and he can play at his best. He's priced an average of like 50, 55, 56. He's probably at his best, can probably punch that up to a 60, 65.
Yeah.
But the injuries worry me with him. And obviously, the Dolphins' form, I don't know how they're going to go. So that's kind of it for the gun options. With the cheaper ones, there's the likes of Billy Walters, Tyson Smoothy. There's a couple of Corey Pakes, I think, from Brisbane fighting for that spot. Brendan Hands from Parramatta. Again, it's going to come down to team list seeing if Brandon Hands gets named as the starting hooker for Parramatta, and there's no Lussick on the bench, then he's an option at 349k. But apart from that, Mamazoulis is a bit cheaper. Blake Moser from Brisbane is the other one that I was thinking of. Mamazoulis 302k. I've got him in my team at the moment, but I don't rate him, to be honest. I don't think he's not an 80-minute player, so he's maybe gets 50 minutes.
Yeah.
And I don't know, whenever he's started in the past, he hasn't really done that much either. He's kind of a 35, 40-point player, which, look, there's a little bit of value there. He might make you 80 to 100k, but yeah, I'm just kind of waiting and hoping something else comes up.
Yeah.
But at the moment, he's probably the best one to go with. But yeah, you want to hope something else comes up. I guess it's the waiting game, waiting till team list.
Should be
a lot of people are really keen on him, but yeah, I'm not as keen on him. But he's in my team.
The price.
Yeah.
Should we move to front row?
Let's move to front row.
I think the lock has to be Tino.
Tino, yeah. I mean,
he's coming back full off season.
Yeah, he's 530k. We know at his best he's a 700k.
7-8.
He can get right up there, averaging mid 70s. So he's a gun player. The only thing that worries me is obviously coming back from an ACL. Does he start the season slowly? Does he get kind of eased into it a little bit, limited minutes, which he may do, but I think at his best he's going to really come good. I think that dual position that he offers as well is super valuable. Regan Campbell-Gillard joins them, so that might take a little bit of pressure off him. He might not need to play as big minutes as what he has been in previous seasons.
They've got a huge pack.
They've got one of the best,
the biggest pack,
one of the best packs in the game. I think you've got Jolliffe as well.
RCG,
Fodawaker. So
Tino.
It's a great pack.
Jesus Christ.
So it'll be interesting to see how he goes with his minutes, but I've got him just because based on pedigree, based on what he's done in the past, at his best, we know what he's capable of at 530k is like hugely underpriced.
Yeah.
May. Now, Terrell May, I think he is almost the best buy of the Supercoach year.
Is this going to be like fucking...
Yeah, well, I said that about Sean Lane last year.
Sean Lane last year. Guys, just hold your breath on that.
But May, he's come from... He was my first player that I just about picked. He's come from the Roosters, which he was playing strange minutes. He was playing one game, he'd play 30 minutes. The next game, he'd play 50 minutes. Like
Robinson effect.
They had a lot of mouths to feed there. Like they had a lot of good front rowers, so he didn't need to kind of step up.
Yeah.
At the Tigers, there's no one else. It's just him. And he's come out, he's got a bone to pick with the Roosters because they let him go for some reason that we don't know about.
That no one knows about.
No one knows about, but there's obviously a reason for it.
He's got Royce Hunt there with him, two big boppers.
But I think May is just he's going to play 60 to 65 minutes every week. They have to, right? Like,
yeah.
And he's capable of it. He gets through 80 minutes. And as soon as there's a HIA or anything like that, he's probably going to play 80 minutes.
I guess
Benji's coaching for his future.
I guess this is the difference. Roosters were very successful last year.
Yeah.
Tigers aren't.
Yeah.
Is he really going to play 80 if they're getting flogged 40-0?
Yeah.
That 26-12? Like, that's my biggest issue.
Yeah.
Will they utilise him if they're getting pumped? Or will they go, let's give someone else a run?
Yeah.
To finish the...
I think they're just going to try and play as best as they can. Like, they're not...
Put on have a crack.
They're not, planning for the future. They're planning for now. They want results now.
Yeah, that's true. Tigers fans deserve it.
Yeah, so...
They deserve something.
And he's got that attack in him. And as I said, there were a lot of mouths to feed at the Roosters. There's not at the Tigers. So he's going to kind of have to... And he's shown and he said he's come out and made statements that he wants to be the man. Well, now he's got the chance to prove it. And I think he's the type of person that, if he says something, he wants to back it up.
Yep.
So... I'm all in on May. I think he's going to finish the season, 750, 800K.
Now, I want to highlight someone that I see in your back row that I really like.
We'll get to the back row. I'm
excited for this one.
Start with the front row first. Don't jump the gun.
You want to give your team away, mate. I'm just surprised early.
I've got Corey Horsburgh. Now, obviously got the handy duel with the Canberra Raiders.
I don't trust Ricky, dude.
That's my concern.
Dude.
That's my concern. Apparently, they've all kissed and made up, and they're good friends again.
They can be best mates, but Ricky will play him 6 minutes one game and then 20,000 the next.
That's my concern. But at his price, he is cheap. So
scary. I don't know. Ricky scares me. There's a lot of good young forwards coming out of Canberra.
He's a scary person. He is very scary. But he's 355K. His dual position, I think if he can get a starting gig, even if he's off the bench, if he's playing 40 minutes, then he's a good buy. It's just, as you said, with Ricky, who knows? So
sticky Rick.
He's not locked and loaded in my team. I could sub him out, but it's just at that price, there's probably no one better at the moment. I'll touch on a couple of the gun front rowers. Fanua Blake obviously going to the Cronulla Sharks.
Oh, yeah.
I would steer away from Fanua Blake personally, just because of the Warriors playing huge minutes. He was kind of everything. At the Sharks, I think...
We got a good pack.
You've got a lot of packs, so his minutes might drop off a little bit. And obviously then his point scoring will as well. I don't think it'll be a huge drop. I still think he's going to be a gun player. I just think for his price, 706, there's probably better options to be going for. I'd probably rather Payne Haas.
He gets injured,
who's a little bit cheaper, 670K.
I get worried about Haas.
Yeah.
He goes so hard, he gets hurt all the time.
Yeah. So...
we're in trouble here.
But in terms of the gun front rowers, that's kind of it. There's not really... There's Tarpany, but again, you don't know. With Ricky, he might play 30 minutes one week and 80 minutes the next.
Yeah.
Mitch Barnett is interesting. Whether his role changes with no Fanua Blake, that'll be interesting to see because he did really well. I think when he was playing second row, he was playing big minutes second row and scoring good points or at lock. So obviously... Tohu Harris is retired as well, so there might be more minutes for Barnett. We'll have to wait and see.
He's the captain too, so... Yeah.
A little bit of extra responsibility. So he's a decent buy at 660. Again, I'd probably rather him than Fanua Blake. Just saving a little bit of coin. But, yeah, if you're adamant on Fanua Blake, then you're not going to be disappointed.
The points he's scored, holy shit.
You're not going to be disappointed. You know that he's going to finish, in the top 2 or 3 front rowers.
Front rowers pretty good, eh?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, that's kind of it for the gun front rowers. There's no one else that I would really go for. For the cheaper options, you've got Royce Hunt. You've got a couple of others, but again, it's just going to come down to team list, so no point touching on them now. I guess just whoever gets named, have a look at team list. We'll go through them next week, and we'll let you know which ones to go.
Are we doing a part 2 here for your charge?
Let's see. No, we should be right. We'll smash through it.
All right, we'll smash through it.
Second rowers. Now, few options here. If second row is interesting, what do you want to talk about in the second row?
I like the Kelma Tulangi pick.
Yeah,
love it. I think he's going to start for the Eels.
I think, and that's purely based on, I think he gets that right edge spot outside of Moses. I think that's a really good position. We've seen what Papali'i did there a few years ago when he was playing outside of Moses.
Yeah.
He runs a really good line to Alungi.
He's old school.
I do
Very
like him.
old school.
And just based on a few things that I've read and seen, I don't think Jason Riles rates Bryce Cartwright that much.
Sure.
So yeah, it would not shock me at all if Tuolungi starts. If he's coming off the bench, I wouldn't go him. But starting outside of Moses, I think he's a really good player. Yeah.
I like the pick.
Yeah, it just all comes down to whether he gets named. If he gets named, I think I won't say a must-have because I said that about Lane.
Yeah,
and,
you and Eels players are must-haves.
Eels second rowers,
Don't trust ya.
they're a bit scary. And who knows? Like Parramatta, one thing that they do not lack is second row depth.
Yeah, you got plenty.
You know, if they lose the first couple of games,
Matt
then
Drury? No.
you know we start looking at maybe Tuolungi's the problem.
Yeah.
You know,
But he's averaged 85 metres and 2 tries a game. He's out. Get him out.
Yes.
So
Play
I like
Junior
that.
Paulo at second row.
Jesus Christ.
He slimmed down a bit, Junior.
Yeah.
I've seen him the other day.
Looks thin.
Yeah, not scary.
Had dinner with him the other day. Actually.
Yeah. Good mates.
Down at the all you can eat.
Yeah, he'd eat too.
He ate well.
He'd be filling up the plates.
Big fan of his muscles.
Now, I've got Isaiah Papali'i in my side at the moment. Again, very similar to Tuolungi in the fact that it just comes down to where he's going to play. There's a few question marks about him, whether he plays, a little bit of lock, a little bit of middle.
Yep.
I like him on the edge. If he's playing on the edge 80 minutes, I'm all for him.
Yep.
If not, then not as much. So, again, it's just a wait and see. But at 580K, a lot of value there. We've seen, again, what he did at Parramatta. He was averaging, mid-70s plus. So, and with that Penrith system, like especially if he can get that right edge outside of Cleary,
Dangerous.
I don't think he will. I think Liam Martin has kind of sewn that up. I think it'd be the left edge. But we'll wait and see. I've got White from the Sydney Roosters.
Yep. Nafahu.
Obviously got that handy jewel as well, 360K. Again, a lot of these players, I'm kind of saying the same thing, but it just comes down to where they get named. There's talk about him starting lock. If he starts at lock, he's great value. Even coming off the bench for that price, he's good value.
Yep.
You just probably wouldn't rely on him for his points as much if he's starting off there. I really like the look of Fini Fuiaki. I do rate him quite highly. I think he's got a really good attacking game. Again, whether he gets that starting edge role, there's a lot of second rows at the Dolphins.
Yep.
Again, I don't know how much attack he's going to get in that team. He's probably not going to score that many tries. They're not going to play that well, the Dolphins, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, but 360K, there's a little bit of value there. And then a couple of others I've just got in as kind of placeholders at the moment. Jawetski. I struggle with his name, but he's a good player, and Madge apparently likes him from all reports, so he could be an option here. Let me just quickly have a look, see if there's anyone else that catches my eye. Have you got anyone in mind?
I forget what my team is. I'll highlight mine next week.
Tamalolo at fucking 359K. Jesus, that's cheap for him, but you can't go in playing
Mariota.
20
I like
minutes.
Mariota from the Raiders. Ricky loves his Mariota. So if Ricky says he loves the bloke, he loves the bloke.
Yeah.
There's a lot of love there because he doesn't love many blokes.
A lot of gun options as well, second row. Like the gun options do stand out. There's some good players there. You've got Angus Crichton, 750. Fafita at 750K. I'm surprised he's only 2% ownership. Obviously,
I think people are off him.
I think obviously I had the buy round one, but he averaged 77 last year, and he was a poor season, to be honest.
Games
especially
played
the back of it.
20. Same as Crichton.
So I'm tempted. Like if I had the money, I would get him. I think he's in for a pretty good year. At that price, I think he's good value still. I think at his best, we could see him being far and away the best second row, where he averages 85, close to 90 on his day. Like he's that talented. We just don't see it consistently enough.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, anyone else? Isaiah Yeo potentially may pick up a little bit more ball playing skills, which I don't like for Supercoach, to be honest. I'd rather him just do the running and the tackling and getting up his base.
Yeah. How long we got?
No, we've still got time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Hopgood, I really like 650k. There's good value there. Again, it just
Depends if he
depends.
stays healthy.
It depends, and it depends on the minutes, how he's going to be used with again the new coach, whether that changes things for him. Carrigan at 640k, he's good. He's not going to offer you anything exciting, but he's someone. If you just want someone to just plug in, he's going to get you 60 points every week.
Yep.
Hey, you could go much worse.
You could.
Nanai, an interesting one. I don't really
I'm
like him
staying
for
away from that.
619k. He's
He
so
only plays
inconsistent.
one side of the ball.
Yeah. Kulumatangi, be interesting to see how he plays under Wayne.
Pardon me.
Max Plath, again, an interesting one. I don't think that there's much value there. He's already 617k. How's he going to get used? Is he going to play hooker, back row, front row, off the bench? You know, there's a lot of mouths to feed there in kind of that lock role and forward rotation for the Dolphins. So I probably wouldn't go there. Jacob Preston at 609k is not a bad shout.
Yeah, I like Preston last year. If he didn't get hurt, fuck, he was on a rampage.
There's still a bit of value there for him. I think that he could have a big season. So I quite like the shout there. No one else really appeals to me. To be honest, just having a quick gaze through. John Bateman at 522k. He's probably going to fuck off back to England halfway through the season. So
Actually, one that excited me until he got hurt was Zach Hosking.
yeah,
I really like that price.
Yeah.
And then it says to be confirmed, which
but
scares me.
I think he's okay for
'Cause
round one.
He'll start. He
Well,
was
that's
good.
it. Yeah.
And Ricky loves him.
Ricky does really rate him.
Ricky loves him.
Ryan Madison, I had in my team for a little bit if he could get a starting role, but again, I don't think he does. I think he's coming off the bench, and I think they're playing through the middle actually.
It'd
But
be weird to see Lane playing for the Magpies.
play with Jared Hayne.
God,
Got to be careful playing with him.
go back to the Warriors.
Kurt Capewell,
Loves his holes.
490k, a little bit of value there, I suppose, but yeah, not a lot. Lemu is a fun name to
I
say.
wish Tom
but
Gilbert was healthy. Holy fuck. I wish Tom Gilbert was healthy. That's all I'll say. God, he was good.
Seyfarth is not a bad option. He's probably going to be starting for the Tigers at 435k. He's one to look at, only 3% ownership.
You reckon he starts?
I reckon he starts.
Wow.
I reckon he starts, yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I would say a couple of others, but we'll talk about them in the centre position. Now, this one will be quick. Halfback, there's not really too much to talk about here.
Hines.
It's Cleary and Hines. You want one of them. You probably want
cheap.
two of them. Hines is a bit cheaper. Cleary is a bit more expensive, but I think Cleary I like better. There's a few question marks. Cleary's 811k.
Fucking leg.
Hines 730k. Obviously had that groin injury
Both of them.
with the trial.
They're both cooked already.
Yeah. Also, it does worry me, Hines, with Trindle. I think it works. And the thing that worries me is it works for the Sharks. Like, I think in actual NRL, it works. I think it brings the best out of them with Trindle being the dominant
He
playmaker.
only played 10 games.
It just affects him with his super coach.
80.
Yeah.
10 games.
Yeah. Jerome Hughes is another one, but I wouldn't touch him, to be honest. I think he had a great year, but I don't think he maintained that. So, Cleary for me.
Yeah,
I'd like to get
it.
Hines in an ideal world, but he's 730k, which I think there's some value there. I still think he makes a little bit of money from that. But again, it just worries me with Trindle. So, as I said, you want one of them, if not both, if you can.
It's up to you.
Now, I've got Dufty in the second halfback position. Duffy, sorry. From the Cowboys. I think he's going to be starting half with no Chad Townsend there.
No Chadrick.
So I think he'll be there with Dearden. Starting half, you can't go wrong. 190k basement price. So I like that.
Yep, I think everyone's got him.
It's just whether or not you can fit two guns there. If you don't have the second gun, then I think you've got to get Duffy.
Yep.
So 5'8", There's a few options here, but it's kind of a little bit of wasteland. Nothing really excites me here. Metcalf, I think, is a great value pick at 443.
So many choices at the Warriors, though, bro. It scares me a bit.
It does, but I reckon he's locked down that spot. I reckon he gets it. He's a goal kicker. The only one that will goal kick in front of him is maybe Tanner Boyd if he gets a run. But he hasn't been playing. He hasn't been named in the trials, whether he's injured or whether they don't rate him that much.
I don't know what's going on there. I'm worried about the Warriors halves.
But Metcalf, I think he gets the run for sure. And I like the look at him. He looked really good in the trials, so I'm all over him. I think he's a really good player and really good value there. It's the other one, whether you want to go for another gun in a Munster kind of. There's not really any cheap. There's not great cheap options
really Munster or like
Munster, Dylan Brown. There's good.
Dearden maybe.
I do like Dylan Brown. I think with all the talk around his contract, we've seen in the past where players, when there's a contract on the line, it seems to bring out the best of them. Dylan Brown had a pretty bad season last year, but he still averaged, I don't know what he averaged exactly, but it was, I would say 65, 66.6.
Yep.
And he's just so solid. Like, he can have a shit game and get 50. So if you want someone that's just really consistent, then I think he's your guy. Munster at the price of 609K though. Last year, I think he'd let Jerome Hughes run the show a bit. He was having a great year. I think a new season, we're going to see Munster back to his best.
Yep.
Full season of health under his belt. So that's the 5/8s.
The backs,
the exciting part, and we'll get through this really quickly.
I reckon just name him, dude.
We've got Dylan Lucas. I like with the second row second row and centre. Again, a really solid pick. Greg Marju, I am all over Greg Marju.
Healthy.
He's 513K playing on that left edge. Yep. I think he's going to absolutely kill it. Jack Bird, 379K.
The utility.
I don't mind him.
14.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I'd like him if he's starting lock. If he's not starting lock, I probably won't go him.
Yep.
There's a few cheapies around, but again, it's just going to come down to team lists just to work out which ones to go for.
And the most handsome man in NRL, people are saying.
Who's that?
Jesse Arthurs.
Yeah.
All the chicks. Loving him.
He should be starting for the Broncos. I think Broncos will play well. He might get some more tries, but again, I'm not sold on him. He could kind of become anyone. Just depends on teams. For the fullbacks, I've gone Ponga.
Of course.
Ponga is, he does great things. They've got a really good draw. Really good draw the Knights, I think, early on. So
it doesn't matter. Even if they've got a shit draw, he plays well. That's all that needs to happen.
And Tom Trbojevic, he's just, how can you not go him? Like 870K, there's still value there for him, to be honest, if he goes.
They could both hit the million.
Yeah.
Easily.
I looked at Tedesco, but he's 900K plus.
Yeah, no, he's already at his peak.
With all the players that they've lost, I don't think the Roosters are going to go as well as they did last year. So
there might be a drop off. You're right.
And for the flex, I've gone Drinkwater. Now, I really like him. I don't know. I'm not sold on how the Cowboys are going to go.
Yep. The playmaking ability is good for him, though.
But he's going to goal kick with no Val Holmes. So I think I really do like him. Just going back to the centre wings, Garrick I like as well. Garrick's a good option.
Lots of points.
Goal kicking. Val Holmes, I don't like as much at the Dragons. I
want to see how he looks before I do anything.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be that keen on him. But, obviously, your fullbacks and your centres historically in the past probably few years have been your high-scoring upside players. So you want to try and fill that as much as you can.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's kind of our initial thoughts. We'll hang it up here before my computer dies.
Yeah, but it'll be better next week. We'll screen record and we'll be back to normal.
But we'll be back to normal. Get the whole statistics out and about. So join the league if you haven't already.
We'll post a new league up in the
Give us a subscribe. Follow us along the journey.
Do us all
we'll be doing
come top 10.
We'll be doing it all year. Trying to help you guys out as much as possible. Help ourselves out really. Because it's a bit of struggle. We both struggled a bit last year.
Yep. Will's coming for you, Marco.
Hey, we'll be right.
Yep. New year, new me.
Yeah, that's it. Anyway, thank you very much. See you later.
Speak to you.